You're dealing with one of the greatest fighters that's ever lived. It's just how much does he want to do it? Is he doing it for money? You know, how much does he have left in the tank? Those are all questions that'll make me buy the pay-per-view.
I've said it many times before, Jake Paul cannot box. He's not a pugilist. He swings away. He's absolutely fucking useless. No. It's just a shame that it's come to this.
Yeah.
It'd be absolutely fantastic if Tyson goes in there and puts a whooping up on and lands a couple of shots, and that's probably half the sell. People are going to buy it thinking, oh, what if Mike Tyson catches him? But the reality is, I don't think he's going to be allowed to catch him.
How hard was it to put this fight together, to get him to agree to fight you? It sounds like he was game from the jump, but how hard was it?
Yeah, no, he was game. I think he's always wanted to do this. This has been a long time coming. We've been calling each other out for years, and we finally got to make it happen on Netflix, the biggest platform in the world.
In a recent episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Joe Rogan weighed in on the surprising reports of low ticket sales for the highly anticipated fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Despite the media frenzy and endless headlines, the buzz around the match doesn't seem to be translating into sold-out arenas, prompting Rogan to question whether the hype surrounding this matchup might be out of step with fan expectations. Rogan, a seasoned commentator in the fight world, expressed both surprise and disappointment at the news. Rogan speculated that the low ticket sales could be a reflection of a mismatch between the fan bases of the two fighters. Tyson's longtime followers are primarily classic boxing enthusiasts who may not view Jake Paul as a serious competitor. Meanwhile, Paul's fan base, largely younger and drawn to social media, might be interested but less inclined to attend a live boxing event, opting instead for pay-per-view streams.
Just that head movement and inside is just wild.
Everything. And the power. It was just, that's what you wanted to see from a heavyweight. So that guy is still alive, and he still remembers all these moments. It's not like he doesn't know how to put his knuckles on your face. The question is, how much does he have left in his body?
Rogan pointed out that Tyson fans are hardcore boxing fans. They want to see him fight real contenders or legends of his caliber. To them, Jake Paul's name on the card doesn't make sense. And for Jake's fans, Rogan said that they might just want to watch him online, where they're used to seeing him. It's an odd crossover, and maybe the arenas just aren't filling up as expected. Beyond the clashing fan bases, Rogan highlighted two other factors: the timing and the high ticket prices. He said that people have to consider the economy right now. This is a big ticket event, and while it's undoubtedly a spectacle, that doesn't necessarily mean people can drop hundreds of dollars to see it live. Rogan also mentioned that the timing of the fight might not be optimal. Coming off the back of a series of high-profile boxing and MMA events, fans might already feel tapped out financially or simply overexposed to marquee fights. Rogan said that there's been fight after fight in recent months. People need a break and a reason to anticipate the next big thing.
58 today is not 58 when I was 21. It's a different 58, especially if they're not testing him. Okay,
yeah.
If they're letting him take hormones and peptides and do all the things that I would recommend 100%. I mean, I don't know how you could do it if you're 58 if you're not doing that. If they're allowing him to do all that stuff and get his body to the optimum level that's known to science, you're dealing with a different kind of human being.
Social media has also been abuzz with reactions to the low sales, with some fans echoing Rogan's skepticism. Many commented that they weren't convinced Jake Paul was a serious contender against Tyson, and some even criticized the match as a cash grab. Some boxing journalists and industry insiders have echoed Rogan's points, noting that while such events can draw crowds, they have to offer something genuinely competitive or novel. Otherwise, it's hard to convince fans to shell out top dollar. Next weekend promises an exhilarating lineup for fight fans, featuring two of the most anticipated events in combat sports this year. November is shaping up to be a fan's paradise, with UFC 309 and the much-talked-about boxing match between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul scheduled back-to-back. Following an action-packed October that included highlights like UFC 308, November 15th will bring the controversial Tyson-Paul showdown, with UFC 309 taking center stage the very next evening. As the week approaches, Jon Jones expressed unexpected respect for Paul, even as many within the MMA community remain critical of the YouTuber-turned-boxer. During a conversation with Jeffrey Wu, Jon Jones expressed admiration for the savvy and resourcefulness of the younger Paul brother, saying, "Jake really understands the game, man. He just understands, just how social media works and just marketing, and just all of it." While showering the YouTuber-turned-boxer with high praise, Wu took things up a notch by FaceTiming the boxer right in front of Jones. Jake Paul was surprised when Jon Jones spoke to him, and was even more elated when Jones Jones said the following: "Congratulations on everything you're doing, bro. The W, the boxing, you're absolutely killing it. I'm proud of you. I'm incredibly proud of you." A gushing Jake Paul responded with a call for double win. "I'm gonna get Tyson, and then you're gonna get Stipe the next day." To which the heavyweight champion stated, "We're both gonna do it, man. Let's put in work, baby. Let's show them how we do it." Before hanging up, Paul suggested they plan a meetup once their respective fights wrapped up, a proposal the UFC heavyweight champion gladly accepted. After his exchange with the problem child, Jon Jones praised Paul's position in the combat sports world. "It's funny, like when I've been asked many times what I think about his success, and I've always just praised him for what he's doing. I've never been a jealous person, like someone who's kicking ass at life. I've always been the type of person to be intrigued by it and wonder, what are they doing, and how can I get closer to being on that level? But when I hear boxers and MMA fighters talking shit about Jake, I'm like, well, you're just hating. That's all that is. Just, hating." Originally set for earlier dates, both fights are now lined up for next weekend, with anticipation running high worldwide. Fans eagerly await as their beloved former heavyweight champion squares off against the bold and unreserved Jake Paul. Among the many tuning in, Mike Tyson's 2020 comeback rival, Roy Jones Jr., has voiced some compelling thoughts about the November 15th boxing showdown. In 2020, Mike Tyson made his highly anticipated return to the ring in an exhibition bout against fellow boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. Although the match ended in a draw, fans admired the resilience and fighting spirit both athletes displayed at their advanced ages. Despite the non-competitive nature of the event, it attracted nearly 1.6 million pay-per-view purchases, securing its place as one of the most successful pay-per-view events in boxing history. Although he didn't suffer a loss, Roy Jones Jr. admitted that Mike Tyson was the toughest competitor he ever encountered. Speaking recently with Andre Ward on the All the Smoke Fight podcast, Jones highlighted the sheer force behind Tyson's punches. He also noted the impressive speed Tyson still possessed at 54 years old, a remarkable feat for someone nearing his late 50s, said Roy Jones Jr. to Andre Ward. "When you get out there and look at Mike, you have an understanding of who and what Mike is, but you don't realize that the little side-to-side movement that I never thought a lot of before, you really have a hard time hitting him with that. So that was probably the most fascinating thing to me, the fact that he can still dodge punches the way that he could." He further added, "I feel like I've got some of the fastest hands in boxing. I'm thinking no way in the world he can dodge my punches. But he was able to dodge them, and I was surprised. The first time he hit me in the chest, it was like a mule had kicked me in the chest at 57 years old. I said, oh my goodness, you ain't going to hit me no more." There's a notable skill disparity between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, posing a real risk for the YouTuber turned boxer. Despite being 31 years Tyson's junior, Paul faces a seasoned opponent with decades of experience and technical mastery in the ring. While Paul brings youth, athleticism, and endurance into the fight, Tyson's expertise gives him an edge in precision and strategy. Another factor that could play to Paul's advantage, however, is Tyson's struggle with various health issues, including stomach ulcers. The showdown between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is nearly here, and it's already a major flashpoint in the boxing world. Ever since the fight was announced, opinions have been sharply divided, and the split only deepens as the big night approaches. Fans and experts alike are firmly planted in opposing camps, with passionate voices on both sides. Among them is popular boxing commentator Showbiz the Adult, who has put his money where his mouth is, placing a bold $12,000 bet on the outcome. On November 15th, 27-year-old Paul and 58-year-old Tyson are set to face off at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, with both fighters risking their professional records in the high-stakes match. Anticipation around the bout is soaring, fueled even further by notable personalities like Showbiz the Adult, who are backing the event financially. Adding to the excitement, Paul, the YouTuber, shared a clip on his Instagram of himself betting on the former world champion. He said, "This is the craziest bet I've ever done. The max bet is $12,000. Let me think. Dog, you know what? You live life once, and I'm part of the show. I'm gonna be there next week. I'm part of the show." Showbiz. The adult went on to explain the compensation he would get if his wager came to fruition. He added, "I call myself a fan. I say Mike's gonna win. Then put my money where my mouth is. I said, I'ma do this. I say, hello, Mike, you better win this fight. You better win this. I bet $12,000 on Mike. $12,500 to win $26,000. Mike, you win this fight, man. You win it." His $26,000 payout rests on Tyson with a 50-6 record, defying time and overcoming the problem child. There are growing worries about his physical condition and whether his body can withstand the challenge. Recently, the two-time world champion's setbacks, including a painful ulcer flare-up, have raised alarms among his supporters. However, if his past adversaries are to be be trusted, Tyson could very well notch another victory in his career. Roy Jones Jr. has backed Mike Tyson, a former opponent, and believes he will defeat Jake Paul in their next fight. The former light heavyweight champion, with an impressive record of 66 wins and 10 losses, stepped back into the ring at 54 years old for a showdown against Anthony Pettis. 4 years prior, Jones Jr. shared the ring with Iron Mike in an exhibition, which concluded in a draw. Tyson's last professional bout took place nearly 2 years ago against Kevin McBride, a fight that saw Tyson retire on his stool. In a poignant interview that has resurfaced online, he publicly confirmed his decision to walk away from the sport for good. However, Jones Jr. is confident Tyson will prevail. Speaking to MMA YTT, he commented, "I believe in Mike, likely via decision, but if he wants to finish it, he can. Yet, if he's just looking to enjoy the fight, he might take it slow and have some fun." The boxing icon is confident that Tyson's defensive skills, accuracy, and stamina will give him an advantage over Paul. He added, "I'm not worried about Mike and his age. Mike is still hard to hit, and he hits like a truck. When I boxed him 4 years ago, we did 2-minute rounds, and surprisingly, he didn't lose energy. He kept the same pace." Tyson has issued a warning to his opponent. "Be in shape, be in good shape because your health depends on it." Paul retorted, "You're the one who wanted right 2-minute rounds. Want to make it 10x3? Don't talk to me about shape. You want 10 by 3 inches? Tyson remained silent as Paul continued. "That's the thing. Everyone's all talk. I'll do whenever, wherever. It's all talk. I'm stating facts. He's talking." Tyson did eventually offer a response when he said simply, "Be careful. He should be very careful." Paul then boldly proclaimed, "People are always going to have something to say. It's because I've proved everyone wrong. I'm here to make history, I'm here for a challenge, and I'm here to fight one of the most dangerous men in boxing. He's vicious. He's a killer. He has one-punch KO power. He is the greatest heavyweight of all time, but I will prove all of the haters wrong. That's what I've always done. I'm not scared of it. I was born for this moment. The universe told me this was going to happen. I'm going to put on the performance of a lifetime. Who cares if he's approaching 60? At his peak, Mike Tyson was one of the most iconic and captivating fighters in the world. Nearly 2 decades after retiring, Tyson is preparing to step back into the ring to battle Jake Paul, determined to create a moment that will resonate with both live fans and the millions streaming on Netflix. As always, he's committed to the cause, putting in relentless training while pushing through the discomfort of a recent ulcer flare-up during a flight.
Sure? Yeah. Yes. Sure? Yeah. Yeah. Sure? Yeah. It's all right? Let's do this. You did great. With us. Sure? Yes. I got a lot in me.
Gym photos and training videos have once again propelled him to the spotlight. In his most recent post, a striking image of him surrounded by a few colleagues has sparked a flurry of conversation among his fans and followers. At the expansive Mike Tyson Boxing Club, Iron Mike appeared primed and fired up for the upcoming bout. Standing alongside him in the photo were 2 close associates, all displaying their readiness for action. The former heavyweight champ's caption read, "Ripped and ready." Adding to the excitement, Tyson's trainer, Rafael Cordero, was also present, joining fans in showing support for the boxing legend. The bout with Jake Paul was initially set for July 20th, but a medical emergency led to its cancellation and rescheduling to the present date. The fight had already faced criticism for what many saw as an uneven matchup, and the ulcer flare-up only fueled further doubts and opposition. A few weeks following the incident, news emerged that Iron Mike had returned to his training regimen. Shortly after, a video surfaced showing him knocking out his sparring partner, quickly gaining widespread attention. The latest image could provide an added boost as fans eagerly await the highly anticipated clash with the problem child. Here's what some fans have to say about it. Understandably, Milan Tyson was proud of her father's accomplishment. "The champ is here," she said. However, for Mike Perry, it was an opportunity to taunt. Teasing former opponent Jake Paul, the bare-knuckle fighter highlighted how Iron Mike had beefed up. He said, "That shirt's an XL, and it looks like if I'm wearing a large or medium, Jake Paul, you in trouble, bro." Even after years away from the ring, Mike Tyson has maintained impressive physical conditioning. However, the upcoming showdown with Jake Paul is a grueling 10-round battle, each round lasting 2 minutes. Facing an active fighter 30 years his junior demands peak fitness. Fans are buzzing with anticipation for one of the most talked-about bouts of the year.
Day 2. We're getting ready for you. 1, 2, 3, 4.
The 58-year-old former heavyweight champion has impressed and puzzled fans and observers with a body that resembles his golden years. Tyson's dedication to his intense training routine is unmistakable. Recent clips showcase him pushing his limits with grueling workouts, such as heavy back drills and targeted neck exercises, highlighting his strength and meticulous technique. Because of his commitment, he now has a toned body that is reminiscent of his early ring days, complete with well-defined muscles. The change Tyson has undergone goes beyond the physical. It's a mental evolution as well. He's shared a newfound sense of purpose and resolve, focused on challenging the typical limits that come with age. Age is just a number, he asserted, underscoring his conviction that mindset and self-confidence play crucial roles in sustaining physical vitality and strength. Jake Paul acknowledged Tyson's impressive transformation. In response to Tyson's recent photos, Paul commented, "Fair play, Mike. You look incredible. Hulk, but I'm still f***ing you up." The upcoming fight has captured widespread attention, not just because of the high-profile fighters involved, but also due to its global live streaming debut on Netflix, signaling the platform's entry into live sports broadcasting. With anticipation building, the event is set to draw a massive audience, all eager to watch the showdown between the iconic boxer and the YouTuber-turned-fighter. With the fight date drawing near, the boxing world finds itself split. While some voices worries about the significant age gap and its possible health implications, others eagerly anticipate Tyson's comeback to the ring. Tyson's remarkable physical transformation serves as a powerful reminder of his unwavering commitment to the sport and his relentless drive to compete at the highest level long after his prime years. As the fight approaches, both fighters stay focused on their training, with fans on the edge of their seats, anticipating what is set to be a groundbreaking and unforgettable moment in boxing history. In a conversation with Sky Sports, Lennox Lewis, a former opponent of Tyson's, shared his thoughts on the upcoming fight. Although Tyson, 58, will face an opponent more than 30 years his junior, Lewis remains confident that Tyson will emerge victorious. "It's hard to box when you're that old, moving around the ring, throwing punches, getting punches thrown at you, but I think he can handle it," Lewis told Sky Sports. Lewis emphasizes that Tyson's ability to land powerful body and head shots is ingrained in his muscle memory, a level of skill Paul has never encountered before. He hopes Tyson can showcase this once the fight begins. Meanwhile, Paul will undoubtedly focus on evading Tyson's lethal attack, especially avoiding being trapped in the corners where the danger is greatest. He said, "I'm sure Jake Paul will be moving fast, moving around the ring. He's not going to want to stand there and get hit by Mike Tyson. I'll be there, and it's going to be exciting." Tyson's upcoming battle is not just with Paul, but with Father Time itself, as his aging body has already shown signs of vulnerability. This reality was serious enough to postpone their original match due to health concerns. While Tyson's boxing expertise is beyond doubt, the true question will be whether his body can still keep up, making his physical resilience the most compelling aspect of the fight. British boxing star Ricky Hatton thinks there's a good chance Tyson will destroy him. He told the Action Network, "I think if Mike hits him, he'll knock him into the middle of next week. He looks very fast and very explosive. He looks fantastic for his age. But if you're in Jake Paul's corner, you would think. He is 58 years old, and I'm just going to give him the first 2 rounds, jab and move, keep out of his range, and hopefully he will gas." He added, "You'd expect him to at his age. Mike will probably put all of his eggs in one basket and start early because of his age. And if I was Jake, I would stay out of his jab, wait for him to slow down a bit and put my foot down on the gas. I can see Mike by knockout if he is to win, or if Jake is going to win, then he will win on points." Despite his admiration for Tyson's preparation, Hatton, like many others, thinks his altercation with Paul in Dallas is ridiculous. He said, "Mike Tyson is one of my heroes, and is one who is everyone's hero, and I have no doubt that he is one of Jake Paul's heroes. So why you would want to fight one of your heroes who is nearly 60 years of age, and potentially hurting one of your heroes, is madness. Mike looks great on the pads, really explosive, and I hope I'm like him at 60, but that's only 10-second bursts." Hatton then mentioned, "Can he maintain it for a number of rounds? I'm all for the exhibitions. MMA fighters can fight, YouTubers can fight someone else, and I get that world exists, but I think something should be put in place to stop something like this happening. Mike is our hero and is 58 years old. He has every chance of flattening Jake Paul, but at 58, is he in condition to come back from what's going to come at him by Jake Paul? I can't say I'm a fan of this." Mike Tyson openly admits he's not a kind person, nor does he feel at peace. These are his own words, spoken by a man who once held the title of World Heavyweight Champion, a fighter who earned the infamous label of the baddest man on the planet. His words come from the same man who bit off part of an opponent's ear in the ring. They belong to a father, a husband, a podcaster, and a man with a criminal past. 40 years ago, Mike Tyson was a force of nature, raw, unrelenting, and almost primal in his destruction. Back then, his persona was as straightforward as his punch, driven by a singular, violent focus. But today, Today, the story is much more layered. Over time, Tyson has evolved into something far more complex, a true enigma whose many facets continue to intrigue the world.
This is the strongest I've ever seen you.
Yeah?
Yeah, the strongest I've ever, and I know you since you're 13. I think this impressed the shit out of me. Nothing impresses me. You know, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I don't lie. I was worried about him traveling here, traveling there. He's not getting, I can sleep now at night. This is great. You did more workouts than what I've seen you than the whole time you fought Lennox Lewis. Am I right or wrong? There's a whole new ball game. I'm proud of you, Mike. I'm proud of you. It's a new generation.
The American, still holding the title of boxing's youngest ever world heavyweight champion, has aged. Now 58, he's served his time, spending 3 years in prison from 1992 to 1995 after being convicted of rape, and an additional 9 months in 1999 for assaulting 2 drivers. He also endured a ban for famously biting Evander Holyfield's ear. Despite the dark chapters of his past, Tyson remains adored by boxing fans who fondly recall the excitement he sparked during his prime. "There's nothing nice about me," he says, speaking to The Independent and other publications days before his fight with YouTuber Jake Paul, one of the most controversial boxing matches in years. Tyson said, "I'm not a nice person, I'm a decent person, I try to do the right thing. But a nice person I am not. Anybody with the idea that I'm a nice person is going to be disappointed. I'm just not. I don't make people happy for no reason, I'm just who I am. I'm not trying to gain friends, that's basically what I'm saying. I don't want to make friends with you, I don't care if you put me on your yacht, I don't give a I'm not going to ever be nice to nobody. I'll be kind, but never nice." He further added, "I think being a nice guy is looking for friends, going out of your way to make someone happy. I'm not going to go out of my way to kiss someone's ass so they can have a great day. I'm just not that guy. To pretty much neglect yourself for someone else's happiness, I'm not going to do that." Therefore, he believes that Tyson is pleasant but not kind. In any case, he is courteous. He frequently asks if you have understood him, but if Tyson does not neglect himself, why is he still not at peace? Again, he wants to make sure you're on the same page as him. He said, "Tell me, what is peace? What is the definition of peace? So I can really answer the question properly." The fan base is divided. Older generations who recall Tyson in his prime firmly believe he'll dismantle a Disney Channel star turned YouTuber turned boxer. Meanwhile, younger viewers, aware of Paul's limited technical ability but impressed by his knockouts of younger ex-UFC fighters, are taking a more cautious stance. Then there are those who recognize the camaraderie between the two, speculating that the match will be more of a spectacle than an actual contest. Tyson said, "I've been through some spiritual experiences, and things change for the better in my life, so I'm willing to anticipate being involved in fighting again. Maybe it touches my childhood. Maybe it has some connection with my childhood. This money from this fight is not going to change my lifestyle or life 1%. I will always be able to live this way. I could use a buck like everyone else, but this is not for financial reasons. I'm just doing it because I want to test myself." He further added, "Regardless of me being how old I am, this guy only has 11 fights. If I can just fight a little bit, with my experience, if I can just fight 10% of what I was, he can't match that. That's being sincere. I'm gonna beat him. I know what I can do, I've seen what he's capable of doing, and I'm not intimidated or afraid of him." So that's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos.